what's up?
Megan Thee Stallion just released a documentary, Megan Thee Stallion in Her Words. This documentary isn't just about Megan. It's a window into the silent struggles so many women, especially black women, face without ever getting a spotlight, and actually highlights the continuous struggle black women face in the face of violence against their male counterparts. Dr. Dre beat the brakes off of Michelle, and she's told her story so many times but was never taken seriously. With Ike and Tina, how many rap lyrics have we heard that puts a spin on her abuse?
That's why I pack a Nina, fuck a misdemeanor, beating motherfuckers like Ike beat Tina.
Even Rihanna had other celebrities making fun of her after the Chris Brown situation. Somehow, the narrative is always spun and rumors are spread that pushes back against the actuality, and the abuser is somehow always protected. Megan's story has been twisted against her, and I'm gonna tell you how and why, because although she isn't innocent, a certain narrative has been pushed when that's not actually the case. Because Megan came off promiscuous when she first entered the industry, hoedom turned into a new term. Being a hot girl, even though the term hot girl from Megan's point of view, encourages women to be confident, self-loving, and unapologetically themselves. The other side was like, no, if you're having a hot girl summer, you're busting that pum pum open. And Megan is provocative with her lyrics. She's been openly and freely since she first came out. She's thick, curvaceous, and has sex appeal. She enjoys her body and shows it off sometimes, a little too much, and that's also the problem. When you over-sexualize yourself, you paint a certain narrative about yourself to the public. I think it's great that she has a fat ass, but you can't always be ass out and expect people to not judge you. Because one thing about people, they're gonna judge you. All they need is a reason, and Megan gave them multiple reasons. So the beginning of Megan's career, she was a social butterfly. She was everywhere linking with so many celebs, but in February of 2020, she linked with G-Eazy and he posted this video onto his story, which of course prompted people to believe that they were intimate because of the way she was cradled on him with her ass out. So hot girl summer mixed with Megan being everywhere all at once. I'm not saying she's a hoe, I'm saying it's giving hoe, but only to the judgy people. Then the shooting happened where Megan, Kelsey, and Tory were in the car. An argument erupted between Megan and Tory. Kelsey got involved. Things got hostile and shots were fired by Tory. Now for all the naysayers, I'm just gonna insert this photo from Instagram where Tory even debunked it himself that Kelsey shot Megan, and Kelsey even texted the bodyguard 5 minutes after the shooting saying that Tory shot Megan. What happened was that Tory decided to go ahead of the game and try to plant stories about Megan. The most staple and prominent story being that he was messing with two girls at the same time and things turned volatile between the ladies, leading the public to believe it was a possibility that Kelsey shot Megan. What made the situation worse was that even though there was pieces of evidence that are already listed that displays Kelsey wasn't the shooter, but because Kelsey herself didn't say that Tory shot Meg to the public, it made the situation weirder. And this was Megan's fault. Because when Kelsey felt like she needed her friend, Megan chose to listen to her lawyers, or she simply wanted to protect herself in the situation without considering Kelsey. Megan and Kelsey both said that it wasn't the situation with Tory that led to their falling out. It was Megan and Kelsey's perceived selfishness to each other. Megan chose not to protect Kelsey during her statements about the incident, and Kelsey decided she wasn't going to protect Megan since she herself wasn't being protected. It was a lot of miscommunication and one for all for one behavior. Kelsey not directly speaking out and saying if Tory did it or not was also a contributing factor to Megan's reputation dwindling, because instead of addressing the real issue online, Kelsey instead played coy and said a whole lot of nothings and somethings at the same time. And she too played on Megan's viewed promiscuity about sleeping with Tory behind her back. So to the public, if your own best friend won't even defend you, then you must have been at fault to some capacity. The guy you slept with shot you and your best friend isn't on your side. It's just simply not a good look. And miscommunication was occurring between Megan and Kelsey, so Megan began her own personal smear campaign against Kelsey because she believed that she possibly took hush money as to why she didn't come out to Megan's defense. So Megan, in multiple ways, left Kelsey out to dry and started antagonizing her in her own little ways, which began affecting Kelsey's personal life, because not only is she in this situation that didn't have anything to do with her, But her own reputation started being tarnished in the media as someone who is a fake friend and possibly a shooter.
Okay.
Do you want me to read the full statement?
Sure. Well, if you want to talk about specifically what part of the statement.
So basically her statement, mind you, again, this was immediately after she asked if I wanted to be included in her statement. And I said yes, because that would protect me, at least put me in a position where people know I didn't do nothing to her. She said the narrative that's being reported about Sunday morning's events are inaccurate, and I'd like to set the record straight. On Sunday morning, I suffered gunshot wounds as a result of the crime that was committed against me and done with intention to physically harm me. I was never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive and that I'm expected to make a full recovery. But it was important for me to clarify the details about this traumatic night. I'm currently focused on my recovery so I could turn back to my life and back to making music. And her caption was, I was never arrested. This whole experience was an eye-opener and blessing in disguise. I hate that it took this experience for me to learn how to protect my energy. So when she did that, mind you, people had already knew me. We were together. People had seen us, celebrating I had just came back to LA. So she had made a post celebrating me. And so the public automatically realized she didn't include me in that statement, and they began to tag me, and you shot Megan, and people kept, you're going to jail, I hope you rot in jail and die. They were saying all kinds of crazy things. So I made it, I'm not an experienced, she had the team, I didn't really, so I made a little post, and I said I want to clear up the rumors that I shot Megan. I want to clear up the rumors that I shot Megan. I was not the one with the gun, and I would never do something like that. But I was present. I don't know if that was the best thing to say, but she was like, Kelsey, why would you say that? And I said, what do you mean? Like, you're not protecting me, like I have to say something. And she's like, that's not the way to say things. And I'm like, well, what's the way to say things? Because you tell me you don't want me to speak on it, and then now you're telling me this isn't the way. Like, what's the way? Like, let me know the way.
So it seems like there was discord, if you want to call it that, between you and Megan about how the information was coming out. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. That's very fair. And so, I'm like, I don't know anything but the truth, Megan. And she's like, so I'm upset. I'm upset because she didn't clear my name. Like, that's my main reason for Megan. She never protected me, never defended me. She made this all about her, like as if I didn't suffer with her. So it put me in a seat with the bad guys, Yep. Never not once cleared my name. Mind you, she had no reason to be upset with me because at that time she did not know that I had met with Tori. She didn't know this, so she had no reason to treat me anyway or.
Well, not getting with Tori was innocent anyway, but it was to get your property back.
Right.
And
to get my property back. And exactly, there's no ill intent.
Right.
I can be very truthful. I have nothing to hide. All these things, like, it's gonna come out when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm not here to get on the internet and tell every detail. Yeah. That's what she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So we went back and forth a little bit in text messages, and I can share those messages too. I'm getting threats. So
Are you getting threats? Are you talking about from the public?
I'm getting threats from the public. I have been approached in person.
By people in public?
Mm-hmm. That's why, I've honestly been in isolation since this has happened. Events that I had to attend just because they were paid, and sometimes, it takes me out. You can ask him. It takes me an hour or more to get out of the car before I go into somewhere because I don't know what people think of me. People think I took hush money. People think because this is what she's put out there. And it's even though this guy is the bad guy, I guess, she has done a lot of damage to me by what she does on the internet. Yeah. And so, anyways, it's not fair because I didn't betray her. So, anyways, so she was like, she had demanded me to finally get on the internet. Kelsey, I need you to get on Instagram and say this. Say what happened to you and say what happened to me. By that time, I had got Don, my lawyer, and he told me, no, you're not playing social media games. She's not pressing charges. Because, like I said...
This was before the case, he'd been arrested for filing the case, yeah.
Right. Mind you, her manager had her disclose to me that she was not going to press charges on him or anything, so I thought it was okay. She's not mad at him, whatever. But it wasn't until she believes, per her, Tori's team was putting out statements through social media, making her seem like a drunk, making her seem all these things. That's what upset her. And that's what finally made her get on Instagram. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be here.
And put out the truth about her getting shot. Okay.
Correct. So she demanded that I get on Instagram and do the same. And my lawyer said no. He said, no, you're not doing social media games. You're not pressing charges. So you don't have to be involved in that. Yeah. We're handling your situation now. Yeah. You let her handle hers the way she wants, and we're going to handle this how I advise you to. So I informed her of that. She said, Kelsey, that's bullshit. You got a lawyer now? That's bullshit. She didn't believe me. And, at this point, I'll have to go back to the dates, but I have finally, told her, I said, Megan, I need to tell you, I need to talk to you. And I disclosed to her that I spoke with Tori. And she was like, he's just trying to play with you. He's just trying to play you. And so finally, after I told her I wasn't getting on the internet, she was like, well, how could you meet with somebody? And, and I said, Megan, I'm trying to obtain, I have the messages. I can provide when I go back to my phone. So she thought I was lying. She said there was bullshit. Like, oh, now your lawyer's telling you don't do this. That's bullshit. So I'm like, you're reaching out to me. I'm realizing this is disingenuous. It's not genuine. We're pretty much going back and forth, and I'm telling her, like, I'm still speaking to her. She's like, how are you arguing with me in private? I said, this isn't an argument. This is a conversation.
Yeah.
We're having a conversation. So finally, I believe we stopped communicating, and then she took it to Instagram Live, and she made a video. And this video just added more fuel to the fire. She's on there. She's like, I wouldn't, for no amount of money, would I change on, she made it seem as if I had to touch
money.
Correct.
Okay.
So I sent her a text, and I said, I don't know why you're bashing me on the internet. I said, I'm not sure why you're bashing me on the internet. I know you're hurt, and I'm also hurt. I said, but my intentions are to never, go on the internet and bash you. Mm-hmm. She didn't acknowledge it. She kept on with her internet, they were just trying to make me break on Instagram, on social media, come out and finally just blast everything. It took a lot for me to not do it. She had her friends, they were saying things on the internet. Oh, you took hush money. That's how you got your chain. I had got a pendant that has my dad's death day on it. Mind you, this pendant had already been purchased way before. It just finally became ready around in August of that year. This pendant was purchased in March, April, May, July of 2020. But this was basically June 2020 or before that. So her friend, and we were all friends. I know how Megan operates. This was basically something she approved for her to post. Oh, now you're delusional, you stupid bitch. Yeah, you must have took that hush money. That's how you got your little chain. It was a lot of evil things in that message. And
so it sounds like your friendship completely.
Oh, it's over. So if you ever thought I was now going to get on the internet and say anything to you, that's over.
So this is a question that's going to be asked when trial comes around, and it's a question we want to ask you just so we can clear the air on this. Are you telling us what happened in that night? As you tell us now, are you telling all of this to protect her or to get back in her good graces?
Oh, not at all. My purpose of me speaking my truth is just to. I know this is obviously it's like a never-ending thing, but I just want to free myself from this. Yeah. I tried to free myself a long time ago, but every time you turn around, she's making a song about me, making a diss track about me, talking about me. And see, that's the other thing that people don't understand. They think that we fell out behind Tori. It's not true. This had nothing to do with that. I'm not mad at her. I mean, of course, now it's like, damn, my best friend that how could you do that to me?
This is all because of the aftermath of the shooting.
Exactly.
And how it was presented.
But that's why I'm so upset, because 1, you didn't protect me.
Yeah.
2, y'all were on the internet doing all this. 3, you called around Houston telling people that I took hush money not to talk to me. Like, you're really trying to make people not like me. You know what I'm saying? For what? I was a really good friend to her. So
you think she was really upset that you wouldn't put out a statement to back her up on the internet, and then she felt that the only reason you would do that is because Tori paid you off. When in reality, your lawyer was advising you not to do it.
And she knows that because my lawyer also made contact with her lawyer at the time, Alex Sparrow, and asked for her to stop. And they said, well, why won't she make a statement,
The endless cycle of online rumors and he said, she said narratives amplified the misunderstandings and downplayed Megan's trauma. Either way, regardless, if people believed whether or not Tori did it, he was antagonizing her a lot in the media and in his music, which a lot of people don't factor in. This documentary did highlight that Tori was being very venomous during this period while calling himself an innocent man. And Tori is a star, but he's not that big, so a lot of people didn't know the subliminal shots he was throwing her way during that period. Tori's PR was actually working in his favor for public perception because Tori played on Megan's image. He drove up conspiracy that Megan was a scarred woman, but what helped most was the backing he got in the industry. There's a misconception that because you're in the industry or Hollywood, that celebrities know the in and outs and truly know the full stories about situations, when that's not always the case. Because popular male celebrities like LeBron James and Chris Brown were screaming "Free Tori," it played on the conspiracy that there was more to the story because they must know something that we don't. So it was a lot of follow the leader, follow your favorite rapper situations going on. So Tori's PR was not only painting Megan in a bad light, but getting other abusive men in the industry to be on his side. In turn, fueling the scarred woman, hypersexual, alcoholic narrative. If we're being honest, if so many dudes in the industry didn't back Megan the way they did, Megan's reputation wouldn't have been affected the way it was. Black media views celebrities as the voice of the people, even though the men screaming "Free Tori" have all been linked to being abusive towards women. But, of course, misogyny. So a lot of people either didn't factor that in or just they didn't care, as long as Megan was being dragged. Then you had DaBaby come in, who at the time was a yin-yang artist to Megan, because they collabed on a few songs and they blew up at the same time. So if you look at the bigger picture, everyone around Megan seemingly weren't on her side or didn't speak up. DaBaby, your industry friend / partner, your best friend Kelsey, all these A-list artists like Drake and podcasters like Joe Budden, everyone was against Megan, including online bloggers. So Tory's narrative, Tory's PR push, did a number on Megan's reputation for this case. Even though Megan still had her popularity, this was a huge PR nightmare, and she definitely had to take a hiatus for the sake of her image and mental health. I do believe she went about a few things the wrong way, which aided in her reputation falling, and this documentary is beneficial in switching the narrative, because time will always be your best friend. At first, I didn't understand why she addressed her having intercourse with Tory. That part could have been left out because it still makes her look like a bad friend. But then again, she was probably told to touch base on everything. Megan came back with her sympathy afro, which I always thought was a great decision, and it looks amazing on her, and she's been slowly rebuilding her reputation back up. As we've been seeing, she's been everywhere. Endorsement deals and new music. Megan's PR team faced a lot of challenges and needed full transparency, regardless of risking every public statement potentially being weaponized against her. But in order to move forward, this documentary was well needed to spin Megan's image to leave the Tory incident behind while calling out the enablers in the industry. Will this documentary do what it needs to do for Megan's public perception? Yes, the trial was a filthy mess, but Tory is in jail for a reason, not because of a Roc Nation conspiracy. Regardless, Megan was hurt and dragged, and her only pitfalls was not being a good friend. It reignited public conversation, but it added more details that viewers can fully understand because there is empowerment through vulnerability. People will continue to believe what they want, but they can't deny that she was hurt, they can't deny that Tory antagonized her, and they can't deny that the men in the industry turned their back on her and fueled a hateful narrative. The documentary did what it needed to do, but let me know what you guys think down below, and make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Toodles!